Yo, 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 ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of NBA to the Gossip Pod, presented to you by DSM Media, as well as your host, myself, King Slim T. As you can see, our new nickname, King Booker, inspired by him. Shout out to King Booker, but also your other host here, Scotty Drown. And we back. It's been a long 3 weeks, however long it's been. But we still here. We just took vacation and things like that, having fun, enjoying life for what it is,
Birthdays.
birthdays, and just like I said, enjoying life. But now we're back at it again, recapping a few things. Not much has transpired, but we have a few things
Yeah,
to discuss today. But before we dive into any of those topics, my guy Scotty, how are you doing? It's been a long couple of weeks, but we here.
it has, bro. It has. As you know, I do a little bit of the NFL content as well. So we've been getting
Hmm.
that kicked off with the preseason. But we got
Yes,
to keep the
indeed.
NBA content coming. It doesn't matter if there's news or not. We're gonna be here. But no, we got plenty of topics to get into as we get closer to the start of the regular season. We got the announcement of like the holiday schedule, the Christmas schedule. We'll get into that towards the end of the show. And something that caught my eye, bro, is the NBA's plan to expand to Europe. It's very interesting to me thinking about the expansion, and the reason that's interesting to me, bro, is because you think about all of the talent that is just coming out of whether it's college, the G League, whatever it may
Mhm.
be. I think you can get like a more competitive league with grown men, and then you can expand it into some of the players that have already kind of transferred over into the Europe and international scene of basketball. So all interesting to me. We got some restricted free agents that just are making no like hedgeway, like no way towards a resolution, it feels like. So really just wondering when starts stuff's going to start happening with those. There's four guys that come to mind, right? Josh Giddey, Cam Thomas, Quentin Grimes, and Jonathan Kaminga, all in pretty much the same situation. You could argue value of each player roughly in the same ballpark, I would say. I don't know. It depends, I guess.
Yeah.
But we'll talk a little bit about that, and then of course Devin Booker. He was in the graphic. He's in the title. The new look Suns without Kevin Durant, without Chris Paul, no Bradley Beal, the big names of the past. But we've seen D Book lead a team, a young team, in the past to the NBA Finals that didn't have one of those big name players. So I'm curious if we, if I know how I feel. I'm curious how you feel in regards
Hmm.
to the Suns competing in the West. We'll get into that, but man, let's start at the top. Let's start with the NBA to Europe. It was something that Adam Silver was caught talking about recently in a press conference, and so I'm going to read to you just some of the reasoning behind this idea, Slim. And I want to get your thoughts on expanding to another country, another continent, whatever the case may be. So NBA looking to expand in the next 1 to 2 years. They're talking about creating this new professional basketball league in Europe. It's a significant opportunity to expand the global footprint and revenue streams. Europe wants a more prolific basketball league. Basically, FIBA and the NBA are coming together to kind of make this a little bit more realistic. They envision a league that is similar to the NBA that would include salary caps,
Hmm.
financial support, financial backing for ownership, playoffs, that type of stuff, and then some way to kind of integrate that with the NBA and what they're doing with their All Star game and international All
Yeah.
Stars, right? Um, they're looking at the following cities in Europe. It's going to be London, Paris. So London, England, obviously Paris, France, Berlin in Germany, Munich in Germany, Manchester in England, Rome in Italy, amongst some other big cities over in Europe as well, I'm sure. They're also considering like clubs that are already created in some of those leagues. Like there's a Spanish league that Gershon Yabusele played in before he came back to the NBA. He played for Real Madrid in a Spaniard league. Maybe you keep some of those teams as well if they have the proper funding.
Hmm.
Um, And then finally, like I said a little bit earlier, with like all the youth that's coming out of college, man, you see a lot of players. Maybe they go one and done, maybe they go 2 years and done in college, and then they go to the G League. And maybe you never see them again at the NBA level. Maybe you see them farther down the line, like some of these other guys that are able to develop through the G League. But
Yeah.
I think that this would give them like a better opportunity to play at like a professional level. You would have more fans at games at those games in Europe compared to like the G League here, where I just don't think they're selling out crowds on a nightly basis, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on your thoughts, man. There's been a lot of international talk with the NBA. Talks of doing games overseas, like NBA games. They've actually done NBA games overseas in France with the likes of Wembanyama coming over. You got Jokic. You got several faces of the NBA, of the National Basketball Association, that are international at this point. So how do you feel about the potential expansion? Because they're talking about as soon as 2026, bro, which is kind of crazy to me how fast they're moving with this.
Yeah, how I feel about a potential expansion. I feel like it would probably do wonders for this league in a sense. Like when you look at some of the best players in this league today, they're not from America. They're from all across the world. You got guys like Joel Embiid, Luca, Nikola Jokic, SGA. The list can go on and on, but you get the memo here. Like some of your best players are from around the world. So expanding it, you can potentially find like another Luca in a sense. Not exactly
That's a
Luca, but
great
somebody
point.
with the potential of a Luca.
Yeah.
So you can look at it from that standpoint. But on the flip side of it, if you is talking about expanding it out to like all those cities you listed out there in Europe, you do start to wonder like the potential fatigue it can bring on your players. Like if
Yeah.
you're flying from here to there, it's already a problem as it is. Like guys are
Yeah.
already complaining about, the regular season. A lot of guys are load management just to kind of make it to the postseason. So
Yeah.
you just imagine if you expanding it, all across to another country. That can be a lot on one person.
Well,
But
just to be clear, the expansion wouldn't be like the NBA teams going over there and playing those teams. They would just have their own league over in
oh,
Europe.
their own
It's
league.
like a brother league in a
Oh, okay,
sense.
okay,
Like,
okay.
yeah, they would just play each other in Europe, and then it's obviously not ironed out. I would imagine they would have like whether it's like the champion of the NBA go play the champion of this
Oh,
said
okay.
league
Now,
or something like that. But
okay.
no, to your point, I'm not familiar with the geography of Europe though. Like we're talking about teams traveling across country in the United States versus Europe. I know United States is a huge country, but I'm not sure, Munich compared to like flying to
Yeah.
London, versus being over here in the States. So your point may still be valid in the travel specifications. But what's something that comes to my mind as you were talking there was like you mentioned Luka Doncic, like Nikola Jokic is probably a better example. If the NBA created a European league, would some of the players in the United States, the American NBA league, want to go over and just play closer to home?
I was
Thinking
just
about
thinking that.
Luka, I'm thinking about Jokic, like all of, I
Yeah.
mean, Wemby.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that when you had said that it was going to be like a own league of its own. I was like, well, maybe a Luca will want to go over there, Jokic, to your point, Wimby. But no, I think that makes sense if they were to just keep it like a separate league. And to your point,
Yeah,
you would do, the best team of the NBA versus the best team of their league,
yeah.
and then they just face
Maybe
off
do
in.
like an all-star event type of thing too.
Yeah, you could do that too. Yeah, so it
So
makes all the sense in the world. But no, I'm open for any ideas at this point. So I feel like it'll do wonders for the
yeah,
NBA for sure.
I agree. It's weird where the NBA is right now. Obviously, we still love the NBA. We still love basketball and everything that it brings. Like we're entertained by it. We sit here and do content for it and about
Mhm.
it. But it does feel like NBA is like taking, and maybe it's always been in the backseat to other sports leagues like the NFL and stuff. But I don't know. It just feels like the NBA's product or like respect has gone down severely in the last, I don't know, 5 to 10 years, maybe. Like I don't know
Uh,
what
I
it is
mean,
about it, but
Yeah, I
All-Star
mean,
weekend is part of it. The regular season and the
it's true.
injuries is part of it, but
It's true.
I don't know. It's
When you
always been
see
like this.
stuff, when you see stuff like the Dallas Mavericks had a 1.3% chance of getting a number one overall pick, and they get it.
And they get it. It makes you wonder. Yeah,
Yeah,
makes you wonder.
that kind of lets you know right there. Like,
Yeah, that's a great point. It makes you definitely wonder. How much of it is authentic, man. There's been several instances of that over the years, but if we go down that rabbit hole, we'll end up, looking at it like WWE. So
yeah, but,
don't want to go down
yeah.
down that rabbit hole, man. Um, let's talk about the restricted free agents really quick here, and then we'll dive into Devin Booker before we dive into the Christmas schedule. Um, I do want to start with Cam Thomas. I think his situation is the most interesting. And the reason I say that is because the Brooklyn Nets have the money that they could give to him if they wanted to. Like, they could pay Cam Thomas what he wants versus the Warriors, the Sixers. They would be financially strapped if they try to give. They would be entering, cap penalties and such, to give Kuminga and Grimes the money that they're looking for. But the Nets, they can pay Cam Thomas if they want
What do
to.
you have to lose?
They just don't want to. He has a qualifying offer right now, extended of 1 year, $6 million, man. And he's apparently, looking at the idea of just playing this season out on that contract, betting on himself. He becomes an unrestricted free agent next year if he takes this bet on himself. And so next year he could hit the market and see which teams want to go out and get him. You look at this guy, man, 24 points per game last year. 24 points per game, and I get it. And I look at him, it's like buckets, right? But you go to the three rebounds, 4 assists. Like, he's not doing much in the other departments, but he has a bucket. He can get his own. And based on the article I was reading earlier today, man, he's looking at the market and he's looking at, specific players and what they're being paid. And he looks at himself and his numbers and he's like, well, I think I should get that. And so now it's approached this this area where Cam Thomas wants to be paid $30 to $40 million per season, which sounds crazy. The NBA is at a crazy time where they are giving out these types of contracts. I mean, Lou Dort's contract would sound crazy to you, 5 years ago. But looking at these 3 players that I found here, bruh. So Jalen Green, which you can argue, like, Jalen Green, let me ask you, are you taking Jalen Green over Cam Thomas? They're very similar in a sense. I think Jalen Green's a little more athletic, a lot more athletic, but
and he's taller. But the thing is, it's like, damn, that's a good one because Jalen Green, like, in terms of like being a playmaker, they're both in the same category. They're not outside of scoring, they really don't provide much.
I agree.
Anything else. So, I don't know, bro. I think I may go with, for the sake of it, I'm gonna go Jalen Green.
Okay. Well, he makes $33.3 million per season.
You say 33?
Yeah, $33 million per season. Now, that was given to him, I believe, when he was on the Houston Rockets.
Oh,
Phoenix Suns. Yeah. But what about Emmanuel Quickly?
That's a good one. The thing is with Emmanuel, though, bro, he actually provides.
He's a playmaker.
Yeah, he facilitates.
Yeah,
he's not just a scorer. So I may have to take Quickly on that one.
He goes for $32.5 million.
See, that's why I can see why Cam Thomas would look at his contract and say, "Well,
right,
I can get 40 easily," and he should feel that way. Because with all due respect to Emmanuel Quickly, you're not worth, in my opinion, $30 million.
32, yeah, 32.5 is crazy, right?
15 to potentially 18, sure, but that is just too much for a. He's not going to be a perennial all-star, all-NBA type of dude. It's just you just give the dude the money, but
yeah.
No, I
agree, honestly. This one's interesting, and I think I'll go ahead and say it. I think this guy's better than Cam Thomas, and I think he's been in bigger spots than Cam Thomas. But Tyler Hero,
yeah, I agree. I'm gonna go Tyler Hero on that all-star.
He's
You
an
know,
all-star, yeah.
sixth man of the year.
He's making 32 million per year.
He's the best one out of all of them.
Yeah,
Tyler Hero.
I do agree with that as well. I do agree with that as well.
But
I
when you
think
look
it's
at a
just
guy
when you
like
look at
quickly,
their numbers, like
mhm,
statistically, and what they scoring mostly here, right? They all score around that 20 to 25 points per game mark, I would say,
yeah.
right? Does Emmanuel quickly? I know he's stepped it
No,
up since he got to Toronto. Does he average that
no,
much?
it's like 17 or 18, if
Okay,
that. Not up there to 20. And his shooting numbers are not good. So,
interesting. So yeah, 32 and a half. It's interesting, but that's just I bring those names up because all of those guys have had like Jalen Green obviously had the playoff exposure, you could call it, that he had last postseason, which is part of the reason why Houston moves on from him. You look at Emmanuel quickly; he moves on from the Knicks to the Raptors. Never really been in a significant spot. Tyler Hero is the exception there, but this is what guys are making.
mm,
And so the price is going to go up a little bit at least each year. So I think it is fair for him to want 35 to,
yeah,
I think
for
40
sure.
million is crazy. But, if we're getting like very specific, I think 35 to 37 million like sounds about right compared to those guys and like
Yeah.
year to year increase.
I
But
would say, like, if they were to give him 40, they should probably do like a 2 year deal on that.
yeah,
And like a team option on the second
no
year.
long term. Yeah, I feel that. He's 23 years old. So like, he can still grow. I think the problem, man, and this is something that we just haven't talked about, is like the way it looks sometimes.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I didn't watch a ton of Nets basketball last year. He just seems like a ball hawk sometimes. And I'm
Well,
not judging him. I'm not trying to judge him with that state, but I guess it is just in, the actuality
no,
of it. But
like, Cam Thomas is strictly all about his buckets.
his buckets,
He's been that way since LSU.
Yeah.
He's been the same person, just strictly a bucket getter, nothing more. He's not
But
a
you
good.
take that for what it is, man. You know what
Yeah.
I see him as? I think in Brooklyn, it's just a little too much. Like his role is a little like too expanded. I think he's like a 6 man of the year type of guy. Like if you got 15 to 18 points per game from him off the bench in a 6 man role where he comes in with a second unit and he gets to go after the buckets, I think that would work perfectly
But
with like
see,
a championship-esque team if that's the route
yeah,
that financially it's not going to work out like that. He's going to end up on a team like Brooklyn if he
yeah.
wants that much money. But
But see, the problem with that is that now you made him the guy.
yeah,
You
once
handed
you
him the
give him that money,
keys.
yeah,
You handed him the keys last season. Said, "Hey, go do your thing." And he went
and
out
he
there.
feels like he can do that now.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
went out there and got you like 25 points per game and doing that. So,
yeah, that's a
you
great
know.
point.
But I will
It's
say this though,
something you've built into him
Cam
at this point.
Thomas is not necessarily a good, like an easy cover because I know we played him. We had to start blitzing him because he was killing us, bro. Like, so
Yeah,
yeah.
he's definitely a bucket. He can definitely get his. It's just an argument around the type of player and his fit with
Mhm.
winning, I guess is what you would
Yeah.
say, winning. If you were building a
You know
winning
what?
team. But
Yeah. Now you put it that way, outside of scoring the basketball, he really doesn't provide you with anything else. So if
yeah,
he's not like if he's having a bad game, he's not scoring. He's basically unplayable.
yeah. The shooting splits 44% from the field, 35% from the three. They're not immaculate, but
Yeah, not bad
it's a
either.
solid player nonetheless. I guess I would ask you that. Looking at Quentin Grimes, would you rather have like a Cam Thomas or a Quentin Grimes? Like they're obviously different players, so
I think I go with Quentin Grimes.
it's more
For Quentin,
versatile.
yeah, but he probably don't sit down how he used to, but you know he's transformed his game to show that he get buckets. But early on in his career, he was pretty much known for his point of attack defense, especially when
Yeah,
he was with the Knicks. He
yeah,
was he was damn good guarding the ball. So I'd probably go with him. I don't think he's the same defense he once was when he came in because he kind of focused more on scoring, but he's
yeah.
still solid on the defense side of things. So yeah.
I do feel that. I feel that. There's a 1 point or an $8.7 million extended offer to Quentin Grimes right now from the Sixers. He's in the same situation, could take that, bet on himself this upcoming season, become an unrestricted free agent next year. There was something I saw popped out there by a Sixers. He's like a journalist, Harrison Grimm. He had thrown out the idea of a sign and trade with Houston and basically swapping Quentin Grimes for Tari Eason. And the idea behind it, Quentin Grimes is from Houston, so obviously he would greenlight that move and be fine with it. I'm sure he would go out there and contend with a team that's a championship contender. And the Sixers would get like a forward, a power forward, preferably that would fit really well. Houston's apparently worried about how they're going to pay Tari Eason with all of what they have going on right now.
I was trying to say that. He's not doing that.
Hey,
they're not finna trade when they best wing defenders for Quentin.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
They're just too good, bro.
They might have to. I feel you. Don't get me wrong. I feel you. He's just a guy. Like when you see the way Eason plays and his value in the NBA, it might just be worth it for them to get away from that early if they're not going to be able to pay him down the line and get some value back. But I feel you. I think Tari Eason's a better player as well. I'm not arguing that.
But then, also, bro, I don't know if you've seen this. Since we're on restricted free agents, Josh Giddey was reported to offer like a 4-year, $80 million deal. So $20 million a year for 4 years. So
yeah.
Will he accept that? I don't know, but I feel like he should because I don't think his market is pretty big. And if you Josh Giddey, I mean, $20 million a year, bro, that's not bad, bro.
I do agree. I agree.
I think his contract was like $9 million a year, so that's an upgrade.
Well, I asked you off the air, but I want to ask you on here because there was just a slight rumor of it, right? Josh Giddey, and it was reported out of Australia, actually. It's from an Australian news reporter. Obviously, Josh Giddey is Australian.
Yeah.
But rumors of Josh Giddey and a potential trade to the Golden State Warriors, maybe a sign and trade for Jonathan Kuminga. How do you feel about that idea, man?
Man, it sounds good for sure on paper, but due to like the guys that's already on our team, I just don't see the fit being great. You know, because Josh Giddey, if he was somewhat of a respectable 3-point shooter, then yeah, sure, because he's an all-around player, 6'8", you know, can do. That's crazy, D-Rab, but can rebound, play make. You know, he even showed he can score the ball in the second half of the last season. So I like that, but I don't think it's a great fit. It can be good, but it's just like the shooting, bro. It's just going to be like a cloudy fit, him, Draymond, and Jimmy out there. So, but if the Bulls were to get Kuminga, though, I feel like he would blossom in that situation, you know.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
The fit? You brought Draymond to my attention because I completely just forgot about Draymond. I don't know how you do that with the Warriors, but I did it. And, originally I was thinking just like the dribble handoff of like Steph Curry with Josh Giddey and a screen with the in the ball handling. It just seemed like it would be a great fit being the facilitator that Josh Giddey is. But you make a great point. If you're going to have Draymond in your starting lineup, you probably can't have Josh Giddey in the starting lineup with him because of the shooting inactivity. And even, like Jimmy Butler is not like a prolific 3-point shooter. That's not his game. He can do it, but no, I do feel you there, my man. That's pretty much it on the restricted free agents. I mean, Josh Giddey, we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not that anything has really happened.
No, I mean, like even with Kuminga though, bro, he's basically holding up our whole offseason. We have not made not one move yet.
Yeah, that's so interesting. It's so wild that you guys could get through the offseason like that. But
crazy, bro. Training camp is right around the corner.
Still a contender, at least. I mean, right? In the West. I want to talk to you about the Phoenix Suns, man, and we'll dig into this, and then we'll get out of here with the Christmas Day schedule because I do want to talk about that with you as well. But looking at Devin Booker, man, I'm going to read you some of his accolades because I think it just gets overlooked sometimes. How good Devin Booker has been throughout his career. So it's his 11th NBA season. He's going to be 29 years old this go around with the Phoenix Suns. 4-time All-Star, 2-time All-NBA. NBA Finals trip, as we discussed earlier, with the likes of DeAndre Ayton and Mikal Bridges.
Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson. Yeah, Cam Johnson was a big part of that. What about Cameron Payne? That's who I was about to name next,
I
which is
remember the
crazy.
brother told him like, "You was just a homo a year ago. Say homo. I don't know
That's
you now,
crazy,
goddamn
right?
it."
And then obviously a two-time gold medalist, most recently in 2024, last summer with that team.
Shout out,
So
bro.
he's an accomplished player, man. He's played with some accomplished players as well. Kevin Durant, CP3, Bradley Beal being the most recent. And these guys have all been funneled in and funneled out at this point. And he comes into a season with a fairly young team outside of the likes of, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks. You got guys like Ryan Dunn, Royce O'Neal. Those are going to be like your veterans along with Devin Booker. I'm curious from your perspective. You got the Warriors out west, so I know you have your eyes on the West at all times. From your perspective, where do you see the Suns this season, led by Devin Booker, this young group of like Jalen Green, Kobe Brea, Mark Williams, Kamen Malawach, Rasheer Fleming, they also got in the draft this past year. They got some youth, some good young players coming in with Devin Booker.
Yeah,
Do you
Dylan
think that
Brooks.
they can compete in the West, though? Because the West is obviously stacked.
I wouldn't necessarily say that they can compete in the West, but they can probably be in a mix of things, depending on. It's like a lot of what ifs have to happen for them. Like if Jalen Green could take like another leap, probably increase his scoring up to like 25, and then also show he could be like a playmaker. And yeah, for sure, because you know what Book going to give you.
Right.
And
Right.
yeah, and if Mark Williams can stay healthy, then yeah, for sure, I can see them guys being in the mix of things for sure. Like with Devin Booker, like leading the way, being that leader. He's been around the league long enough to kind of show these guys the rope. To your point, he went to the NBA Finals, so he got that experience. So yeah, I can see them being in the mix of things for sure.
How do you how do you think everything fits with this team? Like you got the likes of like Dylan Brooks out there. Like does Dylan Brooks start next to
Yeah, for sure.
Devin Booker?
Yeah, 1,000.
Like, who's your starting lineup off the top of your head?
Well, they had in the keys the Booker saying he's going to be the starting point guard.
Right.
So Book, Green, Brooks, um,
Royce?
Mark Williams at the 5. I don't know if I'd go Royce at the 4 because he probably wants some more height in that lineup.
That's fair.
Wait, hold on. Actually, Ryan Dunn should start. Yeah, I
Right.
start Ryan Dunn. So Ryan Dunn and Brooks, your wings, and then Mark Williams at the 5. So yeah, I do that.
Okay. I like it though. It's a good mixture of youth and veteran leadership, quite
Yeah.
honestly. I am interested to see Devin Booker in that point guard role with two centers that can be lob threats. They can, go up and catch the lob, but also Kamen Malawach showed the ability to step out and expand his range to the 3 at Duke, and he showed it even more since leaving Duke in like, preparing for the draft. So I'm interested, man. Two rim protectors, how they can fit behind Devin Booker, because once again, we saw him go to the finals with DeAndre Ayton as his like primary big threat.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a mixture of
Man,
Malawach and Mark Williams will do well with him.
you
It's going to come down to shooting, though.
yeah, you getting me hyped for the season though, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. You getting me hyped.
Bro, I was sitting, like obviously we sitting around leading up to the show. We're thinking we got to get topics for the summer. Like we got to keep the content flowing and keep it going. And there's going to be plenty of storylines to get into over the next weeks, months, however long it takes to get to October. Ultimately, because another thing that's on my mind, we can save this for next show. But the Celtics, bro, like competing without Jason Tatum this year. And the way they reshaped their team, like how does that look in the Eastern Conference? Which kind of takes me to our next segment here, which is the Christmas Day slate. And I believe you told me at not beginning of the show, but before the show.
Mm-hmm.
How long has it been since the Celtics haven't played on Christmas Day, bro?
2015, so 10 years.
10 years since the Celtics last no show on Christmas, right? Like not playing on Christmas Day. And they did not make the cut this season, which obvious reasons, I guess. Like no Jason Tatum, they're looking like a reshaped squad, but I still think that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely crazy. Like you still have Jalen Brown, Derek White, Anthony Simons, Peyton Pritchard. You still got some pieces over there though. Still
right,
Celtics
right.
in the day.
Right.
So,
So yeah, I don't know. I thought that was interesting when you told me that, man. And then I finally got to look at the slate, and there's some interesting matchups. Like they're not like marquee matchups of the past per se, but they are marquee matchups of where these teams are currently at right now. Excuse my French there. Cavs and Knicks. We got a Knicks fan in the maybe not a Knicks fan. Maybe just a Knicks better. Says Knicks for the chip this year. We got the Cavs at the New York Knicks on Christmas Day, which I think that's a stellar matchup. Maybe the top 2 seeds in the Eastern Conference at that time, right? By projections.
You can say that, yeah.
Got to stay loyal to the soil. Fair enough, Star. Appreciate you checking in with us, though.
Appreciate it, man, for sure.
D-Rab said the Celtics don't want to play on Christmas. That's fair. Maybe they didn't. Maybe they didn't want to play on Christmas without Tatum.
Whatever. I'm sick of this dude, bro. D-Rab. He's analogies, you know.
Hey, we do have Houston Rockets at the LA Lakers for our man D-Rab.
Oh, yeah, that's easy. You know, the Houston Rockets for the
Somebody gonna fight? Well, they don't have Dylan Brooks anymore, but they do got KD. He'll talk a little bit of shit, right? And they got some dogs out there, of course.
Hey, Thompson.
Amen. Yeah.
He be talking.
Tari, he gets gritty off the bench sometimes.
Van Vliet.
Yeah, Fred Van Vliet. Yep.
Yeah, that's good.
Who winning Rookie of the Year? That's
kind of obvious.
That's interesting. Cooper Flag is the obvious pick, but Dylan Harper, if he starts next to Wemby, like what does that look like?
I doubt he starts though.
You don't think so?
No. Because you got Darren Fox, for sale.
Stephon Castle. Yeah.
You got like 3 guards in front of him. I'm not saying he's not worthy. Those starting.
I feel you.
I don't just see it off rip.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah, he's going to have to earn his way there, you know.
He says Trey Johnson. I mean, that's a good. He's on the Wizards, I believe, which he's going to get a ton of opportunity there. Wizards or Nets? Am I getting confused there?
Trey Johnson.
Natural scorer. Yeah, out of Texas.
Yeah.
He can score the rock, though. He can score the rock for sure. He's like maybe the most pure scorer coming out of college, quite honestly. Mm-hmm. He's on the Wizards, too. But yeah, we'll get into award predictions in a future show for sure, Star. We'll definitely.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the channel, bro, and don't miss out. Turn notifications on for sure.
Exactly. We got the San Antonio Spurs at OKC, which I think that is an awesome matchup.
Yeah, that's gonna be great for sure.
We got the Mavs and your Golden State Warriors. How you feel about that?
My boy Clay got with Meg, and he been moving different ever since, bro.
I forgot about that.
Tell you, bro, like Clay, like seeing the way he's moving out. I haven't seen Clay move like that in a minute, bro.
I forgot about that. We're not shitting on your opinion, D-Rab.
Yeah, let's get that coming out the stream real quick.
Appreciate you, Star. Appreciate you, brother.
Oh, yeah, appreciate that, bro. That's tough. He found us at work, bro. Hey, I fuck with it.
That's how we prefer it, bro. And then the last matchup of the night is going to be the Minnesota T-Wolves at the Denver Nuggets, man. So we got Western Conference from Minnesota, 2 years ago, finals.
Minnesota. You said the T-Wolves at Denver?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, this is going to be a good one. You know what? All these matches are going to hit.
Yeah, they're all going to hit. Yeah. Sure. Barring injury, right? So, definitely something to keep an eye on, bro.
And of course, you say the word, like, oh, my God, bro. Ain't enough brothers talking basketball. I appreciate
Make
that.
Make sure
bro.
you clip that.
Yeah. Appreciate it, Star. You know, we really appreciate that.
But, hey, Slim, you got anything else before we get out of here, brother?
No, that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yes, sir.
Me and my guy Scotty back at it, man. You know, we took us a little break, but we back at it. And the NBA season is not too far away. We got like a month and a half before training camp tip off. So, yeah, man, just make sure you guys tap in with us.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the new subscribers. And, we'll definitely talk about the Sixers, Star. I appreciate you bringing that up. You probably see that shit in my background.
Yeah, that's my
we are definitely going to talk a bunch about that. We'll be back next week, nonetheless. And just for awareness, if you're a new subscriber out there, once the NBA season kicks in, we'll be hitting multiple streams per week. So no worries as far as content. Just a little slow on the news rollout right now. But we'll be back next week with some fresh topics. We'll dive all into it. Appreciate all of you. And until next time, peace, everybody.
Yeah, it's D-Raz.